All right, here we go. This is going to be the first video that I ever publish with a couple of ideas, a couple of confluences I have noticed and am planning to trade in this bear market. So I made a list of things I want to discuss. I think we are in a bear market since 126k. I published some ideas previously, just some posts where I thought 123,000 would be the peak, and I did sell in that vicinity from lower down all the way up with a small amount onto 126. Anyway, that's irrelevant. This is the bear market view, and I currently think we are producing on a very minor degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a corrective structure. So we are impulsing in a corrective structure. Could be wrong. I'm no Elliott wave theory specialist by any means. I'm just looking for some trade setups. This is the A that I think will resolve into a B that could rest on top of this 1618 old range value area high, which is I think from the 2024 74,000 range. This does look symmetry wise pretty good for a wave 3, looking for a correction into this 4 into the 5, which should make our A wave. B is going to be ugly as hell, as they always are. No idea how that's going to play out. I have an idea for time, let's say March 16, which will be the corrective peak of this move. So this target I think should happen by around March 16. So don't take my current scale, even though we're on a 30-minute chart, logarithmic perpetual contracts, just FYI. Don't take my current time as fact, but this is what I'm looking at. I'll make a different video on that. Kimo Zabi deserves credit for that because he discovered something very interesting from the origin of Bitcoin. Timing fib line chart that pretty accurately predicts the tops and the bottoms. Anyway, so onto this idea. I think we're almost done. I was tempted to take the short here with a tiny SFP swing failure pattern and 74 down, but I'm going to leave that. I'm going to wait for this, maybe take a scalp long into the finish of this A wave. It happens to have confluence with a downtrend anchored VWAP, which is drawn from the 98 odd thousand range. Should be from here, I think. Yeah, that was the downtrend started. We're going to have some confluence on that. And then B is going to conclude, and then measured move A equals C should give us, this is the top of the range of the downtrend anchored VWAP. And I just added the bull market support band after watching Ben Cohen's chart. And I did notice that as cycles progress, the market tends to move further away, or I shouldn't say further away, like it doesn't quite reach the bull market support band as deep or as high as it used to in previous markets. You could say it's because larger market volume, less momentum, institutions, manipulation, whatever you want to call it. The trend is it's trending further away in the bear market from the bull market support band. So that should be around the 84,000 level, around the 16th March target, which is probably where I will be looking to enter a short to sustain the short into what I suspect the ultimate bear market lows for the 2026-7 cycle to be around 30 to 42,000. And we'll get into those ideas now. So June to October. I know Camel Finance is talking about October for a low, which I really like. I do think with the accelerated down move, we could see it a bit earlier. And I see Bob Lucas talking about the formation of an early cycle low, forced early cycle low, which I'm definitely going to keep an eye on. So looking for the lows, Elliott wave theory says wave 4 of a lesser degree is a good target after the completion of the 5-wave impulsive move, which if 126k is the completion of the move, then we could look at the target of wave 4 to a lesser degree, which I do believe was, if we look at it, it's about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here. If this is the wave 3, we're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this should be the vicinity of 4 of a lesser degree, which happens to also coincide with, if you take a fib from the high, 126, to the lows of the previous bear, 15.7, the 50% mark 44,000. I have a measured move here on the logarithmic chart. This is the measured move. I just copy pasted this line with the predicted okay, this ABC I need to mention. I'll just change this color to red just so you can see this is the primary corrective move we're looking at. This amber one is a smaller one we just looked at on the 30-minute chart. And this is quite messy now. I'm looking at the B to form, like I said, touching the bull market support band, run about this sell box, and then moving down into June. I'm saying June just because the FIFA World Cup is there, and I saw Monitor mention that someone wise told him to stay away from the FIFA World Cup. So that's when it starts. Camel has with his cycles on October. So I'm saying between June and October, we're going to get Wreckville and we want to stay away from the market. So this is our last opportunity to get out, find some shorts, hold the shorts until we get the lows. This big blue box is too big, but these are the targets I am personally looking at. There is a chance it could go even lower. If you look at, let's just make this a 6 because that's a nicer number. There is potential for this to happen too, because some say this was a weak bull market. I think it was pretty decent actually. It was just quite long-winded and no alt season. So that's why sentiment is awful for this cycle. 30,000s, low 30,000s definitely on the cards. 702, 618. That is definitely an area to keep some dry powder. However, buying at this level, saving for that level, yeah, okay, you get a pretty decent discount, but I'll definitely be averaging in here if it is within the time window of October. So this time window is pretty good for me. This is where I will be looking at. Not necessarily swing longs, I'll wait for confirmation and new impulses. But I like this idea of the corrective move, ABC, into the middle of 2026 towards the end of 2026 for the bear market cycle to conclude. Looking for a new structure to move up. Minor time frame, I think we are impulsing up towards a potential of 84,000. We're going to range a little bit now where we are to confirm whether this was the wave 5 or I think this is a 4. I missed the scalp short. I'm happy to let it go, waiting for this target to reach and then the minor B wave to play out. It should find support around 70 to 71, I'm guessing. And then from there, we're going to get our C corrective impulse, looking for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should hit confluence on the 16th of March. The lower end of the bull market support band, the higher end of the anchored view app from the intermediate range high of 98,000. That for me is good confluence. That's the end of my video. Thanks for watching.